Hugh Hefner, a true American icon, created an empire that was unrivaled.
Although some of his bunnies may have gone rogue, it's because of the love and respect that we received from the man behind it all.
The Rogue Bunnies' mission is simple: 100 playmates taking control of their valuable IP, while honoring Hef's iconic Playboy style and bringing that experience to our collectors.
Like only we know how, because after all, we did learn from the best.
Relive the stories from the most prominent celebrity home in history.
From those of us that lived it,
The employees that worked it,
and the guests who loved it.
and
the mayhem continues.
I'm Anthony Gonzales. I was a butler here at the Playboy Mansion from 2001 to 2017.
Anthony, dude, it's so cool that you're here, dude. I'm loving it. You know, it's here we are getting back together. What's this feeling like for you?
This feeling is amazing. I realize how important and how blessed we are to have a family this close. Playboy is not just an LA thing, not a California thing, not a United States thing, a worldwide thing. And for us to be here all together is quite amazing, to be honest with you.
I've shared with a lot of people, dude, we communicate all the time. You'll shoot out a text or, you call.
Yeah, well, I think it's important. There's some people in life that you meet and you want to make sure you keep in contact with them. I'm not saying there's other people you do not, but it's easier to keep in contact with people you have more things in common. You and I have a lot of music in common. That was one of the things that we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing is just for
those listening, Anthony's a badass drummer.
So.
Dude, you're still drumming, right?
I'm still drumming. I love it. It's what I do. And to be honest with you, I'll do it as long as I can. It's great.
When we get together, we talk about, hey, do you remember that? Remember that? For you, is there like one story that just sticks out? Like, did that really happen? How did that happen?
Yeah, there was one where actually it might have been you that said this. We'd see Mr. Hefner on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And with that said, not the way it sounds, but I kind of saw him as a regular guy, which he is, regular guy. We're all regular people. There was a party. I don't remember the party, which one it was. Hefner came out, and as he's walking towards his table during the front of the party stopped. Pictures, cell phones, you name it, were just going off.
It was that little pause of awe, right?
Exactly. And then you turned to me and said, sometimes I forget who we work for. And when you said that, yes. I thought that's the best way to put an experience at the mansion. Sometimes we forget who we work for, and we see that happen,
right? And
all of a sudden we realize we're involved with something special.
It's like somebody that got to work at Graceland, right?
You're right. We forget who we work for, and that's a quick reminder what he is and what he meant to the world.
This popped into my head thinking of you.
Okay.
I don't remember what the name of the event was. Maybe you recall it. But there was a certain individual that happened to be there, and that was Vince Neil. Vince Neil of Mötley Crüe,
correct.
Right?
Yes, I remember that.
And
yes. I brought in a shirt of Theodore Payne.
Oh, it was the Mad thing where that show had to go all to the donations for Mothers Against Drunk Drivers because of the thing with Vince.
Correct. Proceeds went to Mad for that tour. I'm not sure if it was that tour or if that one show. I remember it was at the Forum. And I have a lot of old concert shirts, and we talk music all the time. So I'm randomly going one day through concert shirts, and I find this shirt. So I thought, why not bring it to work?
That's the weird part. It's not like you brought it intentionally.
No, it wasn't.
Just happened to have it.
It wasn't
there.
like, hey, this one party for X, Y, and Z is happening. So you came running in to say, dude, you're not going to believe he's here. And I said, who? Like, kind of randomly, why would you bring that up? And then you said,
well, yeah, I'm like, dude, you're not going to believe me. Because you showed me that shirt. And this is what's crazy. Here you have this rare shirt after, the accident with the singer of Hanoi Rocks.
Correct.
And now I'm in the backyard. There's Vince Neil.
And I said, shut up.
And I'm like, and this is where I myself crossed my own line. And I'm like, you have to go do it.
Right.
I don't care. I know we're not supposed to do this. Yeah. And what did I say?
Right. Well, one of the things that working there is we weren't allowed to approach a guest. They're here for an event. So we just kind of, let them have fun, let them do their thing.
Yeah, fraternization.
Correct. However, you said, dude, you got to go talk to them. There's no way this could happen again. The timing of it that I'll have that shirt, one. Two, Vince Neil is here. I look out the window. He's a few yards away from me, and I go, okay. If I'm correct, I believe you gave me a Sharpie, or you got a Sharpie from somewhere.
I gave you the Sharpie because you had to make this happen.
Yeah, and I thought, okay. So I remember walking up to Vince and saying, this might be crazy, but I have this shirt. And Vince said, once again, paraphrasing, he might have said, like, well, what do you mean, blah, blah, blah. So I bring out the shirt, and he looked amazed. He looked amazed, like he goes, I haven't, and he doesn't even have it. He said he didn't even have it.
Yeah, he doesn't even have it. I remember you mentioning that.
He didn't even have it.
And so he was willing to sign it.
And I asked him to sign it. And then he couldn't believe he was holding on to something, signing it. I couldn't believe he's there. I couldn't believe I brought it on that day. I could have brought it the next week. I could have brought it the week before. I could have brought it the day before, the day after. None of this would happen. But I brought it on that one day.
Surreal,
now I think about it, that would be...
So that was at work.
I think it was meant to be. I think it was meant to be for all of us, for you and I being fans of the band. For him, maybe to look back and like, wow, how far he's come in life. Sometimes life is timing. It's funny saying that, being a drummer, and our job is being a timekeeper for music. But life is timing. I mean, look, we're today seeing a lot of faces we haven't seen, but maybe in the past they weren't able to make it because of timing.
We're talking about family. We're talking about how, we got to be part of something that I think we didn't even realize at the time. We knew it was special. Like I said, I forget sometimes who we work for. If you looked at the clock and you saw it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we're at the mansion. What do you think would be happening right about then? All of a sudden you heard the buzzer.
Oh, soup.
Soup time. There it is.
Oh, my gosh.
See, that's crazy, right? It's like still in the back of your head.
You're right. And there was this buzzer that went off. And to be honest with you, if that was our alarm clock, we'd be up in about a half second because sometimes people push snooze when their alarms go off on their phones. But if I heard that buzzer go off, I was awake. I'd be awake in a minute. Boom.
Did you ever have nightmares or all of a sudden you hear that buzzer and you're asleep? You're like,
you just running in circles. Yes. But when it was, and there's times where the phone is in the pantry area, but sometimes we'd be kind of not really away from the pantry, but we'd be maybe towards the kitchen, maybe towards the dining room, setting something up. And whenever that buzzer would go off, it was like pushing fast forward on a film. We'd go from one room, answering that phone right away, and say, Butler's Pantry, how can I help you? And his famous, yes, this is Hefner. I wish I could do his voice. Yes, this is Hefner. Yes, I'm ready for my soup.
I'm ready for my soup.
Yes. Yeah, but it's funny, I just thought about that. 4 o'clock was the time. About 4, and it went from 4 to 4:15. It was after that, if I'm correct, maybe there might have been a couple of times where we've had to buzz him, are you okay? Is
everything cool? Yeah,
it was rare, but once in a great while that would happen.
So with that said, and of course you start I'm glad that you mentioned that because there's a sense of saying when you do work for someone and you're in the service industry, you tend to learn the traits of that individual. Then you get to where we were at. It's like we actually cared for our boss.
Correct.
So then you're nervous. You're like, wait a minute, should we check? Should we buzz? But he just happened to be taking a nap that day, but we're like, wait a minute, it's out of order because he was such a man of order. He kept to a schedule.
Right, exactly.
I mean, can you remember every single night?
Just about, to be honest with you.
Okay, what was Monday night?
Manly night.
Tuesday?
Game night, I believe.
Yes. Wednesday.
Wednesday was card night.
What's his name from Get Smart would always come. What was his name? Oh my God.
Don Adams.
Yes, and his little dog. Thursday
was, it became...
You'll remember, it was one thing and then it became. So what was it?
Yeah, movie night.
But before movie night, remember, it was family night.
That's correct.
And that's because Kimberly lived next door. He bought her the house next door, and the boys lived next door.
Correct.
And that was family night, and they'd all come over and watch movies.
Right.
I mean, I always thought that was cool.
Oh, no, definitely. The funny thing is there's times where we'd have these things happen in-house. That's what we call it, in-house.
Yeah.
And outside, you just look outside the window, and there's a full-on 500-person party going on. Yet there was separate. I felt like it was another world, and all it was just a window separating us, a glass window. But we're working inside for Mr. Hefner and his guest while the party's going on outside. Two different things. Kind of hard to explain, but it seemed like two different worlds. Got a chance to meet some good people and work with some good people.
Well, Anthony, I want to say thank you again, dude. You are my friend. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've always said that, we have job positions. When people say, that was my boss. I never really liked that sound.
Okay.
But it's like the fact that like we all have job positions and responsibilities because we all saw each other as a team. And I still believe that. I mean, we still do events together. You know, I have my event company, so we get together and we have events, and it's cool to see everyone working as a team. So I just want to say thank you, dude, for always being part of us.
One of the reasons I'm here is because there's people here that I miss and I like to see and what they're doing, and I'm one of the very few that don't do social media. So some people see what they do on a daily basis. I don't. So when I see people, it's like, oh my gosh, well, I haven't seen you in months, years, you know.
So I don't want to wrap up because we all got to get back into the party and enjoy each other's company. So I'm going to leave with this. What was it like to work?
Wow,
Hugh freaking Hefner.
Someone once asked me, what does it feel to work for an American icon? And I thought I didn't have a answer for him right away, but that question is almost unanswerable. One, it's like very privileged to do that. Another thing is sometimes indescribable, but it was amazing ride. Definitely.
But if someone expounded on that and said to you, he goes, so what was he like? I mean, obviously he's not your friend; he's your boss.
Right.
But well, you know, what was he demanding? Was he yelling? Was he kind? Was he? What do you tell? They don't know.
Yeah. Well, one thing I will say is, I would say about 11 times out of 10, he always said thank you.
Yes.
And that might seem like a small thing, but a thank you and a smile or a nod back to you after you basically did your job to, get him what he needs. And that could be anything from a pencil, piece of paper, to his food, to a drink. And I believe you said this before, we can almost know what he's thinking, what he needs. The Hefner machine is, it's him as a man, but at the same time, for us to make it run well, he needed us, and vice versa. So it's good.
Well, Anthony, thank you so much, brah. Let's get back into it.
Let's do it.
It's really cool to see that Kia put this work into it. Once again, you got pictures of Hef all around on the tables, and there's memorabilia and stuff that we were all part of.
Right,
so
definitely.
It's such a fun day.
Awesome.
All right,
awesome.
man. Let's go take off, dude. Right. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you being on. We're enjoying ourselves at the PMW, which stands for Playboy Mansion West Family Reunion. We'll be right back. We are Rogue Bunnies Mayhem.
Hi, I'm Victoria Fuller, entrepreneur, artist, and of course forever, Miss January 1996. My bunny sisters and I have joined forces, or should I say, have gone rogue, to revamp the heydays while exploring the future. Yes, I'm talking about the metaverse. So come join me and our sorority of the sexiest ladies on the planet. I promise you won't be disappointed. To join the party, find us at roguebunnies.com. That's ROGUEBUNNIES. roguebunnies.com. You want a scorching hot NFT? roguebunnies.com.
Welcome to the metaverse.
Hi, I'm Joshua Lou Friedman. I was a bartender at the Playboy Mansion from the years 2003 all the way to 2017.
One of the fun things that I used to love when we did Mansion Mayhem on Playboy Radio is we would have this segment. Oh, hey, ice cream. Can you hear the bells in the background?
Oh, the bells.
We would do that segment, Shaken Not Stirred. And yes. And I would bring on a different bartender.
Yes.
And we would discuss the drink of the day.
Yeah.
What was the drink you always had to have ready for him?
I was Jack and Pepsi, and you always have to do the Pepsi in a small Pepsi bottle. You got to take a jigger out, the measuring jigger, and you pour it in front of him. Put the jigger in there, mix it up with the Pepsi bottle, give him the drink, give him the Pepsi bottle, the remaining Pepsi in the bottle, because he tends to, water his drink down from time to time with the remaining Pepsi during the course of the movie or dinner. Did I get that right?
Which was actually really smart, because, it's funny when people make up these false stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, you saw a drink in his hand, but do you understand how much you really drank of it?
Yeah, it's not
and
that
he was
much,
always just watering it down.
Yeah.
And he made sure that you didn't over pour.
Oh, that's why you did it in a jigger right in front of him,
Being away from the mansion and, the boss has passed on, I'm sure you get people that find out that you work at the Playboy Mansion. What was that like? But I get the big one for me, I always get, but what was it like to work for him?
I get that a lot. I mean, I never had a problem. It was always, he was very quiet. He was very serene and calm, but wonderful. He was nice. He was always gracious. never one of those like kind of, I guess, tyrannical workplaces where you always felt like you had to be on your best behavior. There was an etiquette, a sense of etiquette we followed, rules of etiquette that we followed, but no crazy, like I never felt like I was just kind of I was being scrutinized for every turn, anything.
I was just thinking, look, people have party stories, right? There are stories that just from the day to day are like, oh my God, did I really do that? There's always something that's like surreal that you have to like snap out of it going, but this is my job. Like, is there something that pops out at you?
Oh God. I don't know why. Okay, don't know why this one rises to the surface. I was bartending and this girl was coming on kind of like a drunken prom date. Wasn't getting it. I was like, oh, it's nice to meet you, but I got to move on. And she's like, well, listen, my name is Lana. I'm like, I'm Josh. It's nice to meet you. And I put out my hand. She shook my hand and grabbed my ear and said, and Lana, you know what that spells backwards, don't you? And I literally, I was having a sip of my Pepsi and did a spit take. It came right, and she has now ruined that name. So anyone out there named Lana, sorry. But that is, don't know why that one popped into my head, but it was surreal, all right. Sorry, Lana.
Joshua Lou Friedman, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Brian. We'll see you soon.
How does that, you have social media? How do people follow you?
Just Facebook my ass, Joshua Lou Friedman. Yeah, I'm an old man. I think I have an Instagram. It's linked to my Facebook, so find me on Facebook. And don't forget, Brandy Roderick, Playmate, yes.
We got to have you come back on the show. We're going to do a full show with that. Brandy Roderick, you guys just put out a movie.
We just produced, we did a movie together. She directed it. I was a co-producer on it. She's the executive producer. It's real dark, twisted horror kind of stuff that you and I used to watch together a lot. So, yeah, I
love it.
We'll get into it.
So the party keeps going. I'm telling you, the connections that are within our family are amazing. I bump into my lovely friend, Alexandra Capriola, but now we have a new last name.
Mora. Alexandra Mora.
Congratulations. And you got your hubby here, Cece.
Yep. Hi, guys.
Black Veil Brides. Come on, y'all know him behind the drum kit.
That's
killing
right.
it. Man, so hey, this is your first time coming to the reunion, right, Cece?
First time. I wanted to meet so many people from Alex's past and before we met and stuff. And, just the vibe is so awesome. It just feels like a family, and there's so many people that I met today for the first time that felt like I've known them for years. And it just really says a lot about just this whole community and everything you guys have done throughout the decades. It's just so much fun.
Does it kind of fill in the holes of like trying to hear it from Alex? Like, hey, you know what it was like or what we did at the mansion and all that stuff. And you're trying to put these pictures together, but now you're meeting the people.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many people here that I may have seen on documentaries throughout the years. I'm like, you look really familiar. I said that to 3-4 people. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful or rude, but what did you do at the mansion? And I'm like, you look so familiar. Have I seen you on documentaries? Like, oh yeah, you've seen me. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And you've shown me some things, Alex. And it's really nice to put the names with the faces and reminisce about the stories, or hearing Alex reminisce about stories throughout her past. It's awesome.
So I bet you're excited.
I'm excited. I'm so happy that he gets to meet our family and be around everybody, because I have shared so many stories. So some of the girls and some of the more risky stories are here, and it's just fun. It's nice to get, have the chance to be able to have him meet some of these people hold so dear to my heart.
Well, what are some of the stories you shared with Cece? Like, hey, I'm sure he's going.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Well, okay, I was actually just talking about this. We should get Leah over here because she was a part of it. But a long time ago, after Easter, one of the funnest memories I have of like the riskier times is literally right after Easter. Some of the girls, every tradition on Sunday, we just go into the grotto, have a couple drinks, and later do tea time in the house or something, just chat.
Tea time.
Yeah, just some tea or whatever. And but this particular night, we just got a little tipsy earlier in the day.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little. And, running around the mansion, and I held an alligator and stuff from the petting zoo. I did. I still have that photo. Yeah. It's crazy. And so, but then later, we ended up getting a little bit tipsy in the grotto and called from the grotto to have them bring more champagne. Leah said we drank a bottle of Patron. I don't really remember that. I don't remember that. There was 6 of us. So, but anyways, needless to say, we're a little tipsy. And then we go back inside the house in our towels and sit down at the main table and have the chef start cooking up all this food, and we start eating. And then one by one...
But hold it right there. Dude, 24-hour, 7 days a week open kitchen. Anything you want.
You just say it and it's there. It's like
girls are partying in the freaking grotto. Next thing you know, they're in there like, hey, let's order tater tots.
This sounds like the best zombie Jesus day of all time. Continue your story.
Yeah. And so then just one by one, the towels started coming off. And before you knew it, we're all running around the house naked, taking pictures on the staircase, going up by Hef's door, taking pictures by that. The staff is taking all the photos, and we had such a good time. And then
per request, they're not being creepy.
No,
you were having them take the photos.
Them, like, you got to take photos of us, and they're like, "Oh, we love our jobs." And so,
that's the response. Oh, we love our jobs.
No problem, ladies. And so, Rainy Day, I know was there. Leah, I'm trying to remember who else. But there was a group of us. And so then later, I ended up printing up those photos, and I gave them to Hef at game night. Or no, wait, excuse me, Sunday Fun Day when he was in the game room playing backgammon. Yes. And so I give him to Hef, and he's like, oh my God, where was this? I'm like, or when was this? I'm like, that was on Easter. He goes, where was I? And I'm like, you're sleeping, because it was like 11 o'clock and he's just letting us run rampant around the house. And so it was fun. So talking about that, I saw those photos, seeing Leah, who was a part of it, telling Chris about that story, and now you're meeting some of my corporates.
It's cool. So you're meeting the extension part of the family. You know how you guys just got married?
Yes.
So you got to meet each other's family. Well, now you're meeting an even larger part of the family.
Absolutely. So cool. There's been so many responses of mine that were very similar to Hef. Like, where was I? We didn't meet each other or know each other then, but just all of her experiences and the stories she shared. I'm like, where was I? Touring.
You never got to come up to the mansion.
No.
And you know what was funny is all of my friends voted me most likely to get them in the Playboy mansion. I swear this is a true story, and it's just so ironic that Alex and I are married now, and it's just crazy.
Well, describe this badass freaking shirt you're wearing.
Okay,
dude,
let's get into
it.
Okay,
cool.
I've gotten probably 30 compliments on this shirt, and how I acquired said shirt was Alex received a package from Playboy, and it was filled with sweatshirts and t-shirts, and I don't even know what else. And she's opening them out. They're all wrapped up individually. She's opening it, and she pulls this T-shirt out. And for everybody that's listening to this, it's the Playboy bunny logo, but it's filled with spikes. And if you guys don't know what I look like, I'm more of a metalhead, got tattoos, and I'm more of the aggressive music-looking type dude.
He's freaking lying. He looks like a golf pro, dude.
Yeah. I'm wearing a Titleist.
Nice polo you got there, dude.
Yeah.
Sweater.
So she's pulling out this T-shirt. I'm like, oh my God, that's so sick. And she was like, oh, babe, look at this. I'm like, that's so dope, dude. I totally want that. She's like, oh, it's it might not fit me. She was going to sleep in it. She's like, do you want this? I'm like, yes.
It was meant for him,
yeah,
for sure.
So I got it, and now I'm wearing it here, and I've gotten at least 30 compliments on it.
And we destroyed the house looking for that shirt because I misplaced it. And we're like, this is a perfect shirt you have to wear to the reunion. And we couldn't find it.
So cool.
And finally, thank goodness we did, because it is a perfect shirt for this occasion.
So if you could, Alex, for all of our listeners, we've talking to staff, we're talking to the Playmates, and we've been talking to some of his close friends. And everyone has their own point of view what it was like to actually interact with Mr. Hef. What was he like?
The most humble person. There was a time when I moved back from... when I moved to LA and I didn't know a lot of people and I wasn't going to be with my family on Thanksgiving, one of the things that was such a big impact is when I was at the house and telling them that I wasn't going to be with anyone for Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving at the mansion is pretty private.
Yeah,
right?
Really private, very formal.
Very formal, very private. And he's like, you should just come up to the mansion and spend it with us. Don't be alone. And I love that, and thank you so much. And it made me feel very welcomed in a new city, and also, it just was very special. And that was Hef. He just always gave, and he very giving person, very empathetic. He just had a really big heart.
We've done some of the other shows where we did this segment called Homage to Hef. You're kind of already doing that, but I'm going to turn it to where I'm not asking you to talk to me. if you were able to say, because everyone says, man, I wish I could have told him this. I wish I could have told him that. Do you understand what you impacted my life?
Yep.
What you meant to me?
Yeah.
He's standing in front of you.
I would thank him.
Just talk to him.
I would say, Half, I appreciate everything you've done for me. Thank you so much. You've changed my life entirely. Completely went in a different direction. And thanks to him, I've met some more amazing people that I keep dear to my heart. We're all here because of him. He brought us all together. I just have to honestly thank him for just making my life, for changing it in such an impactful way, in such a great way. I feel so a part of a beautiful family like this, and it wouldn't be that way if it wasn't for Half and his generosity and him being, such a gracious person.
Says it all.
Yeah.
How's everybody follow you?
You can go ahead and follow me at Mrs. Pieces XO on Instagram. Because now I'm a married woman, so it's MRS Pieces XO.
Cece, how does everybody follow you, buddy?
I am Cease's Pieces, much like Reese's Pieces, but a little Cease's in there. Cease's Pieces on Instagram, Twitter's Christian Coma, Facebook at Christian Coma. You'll see us on there. We're always playing pranks on each other, so
yeah, we do.
We're sorry for what you see.
Yeah, well, it gets a little crazy.
So. We're gonna wrap up right now. I see that I think Kia is getting the bar resituated. Not that we actually have a bar here at the park. Oh no, not that it's hidden underneath the table or anything.
No. What are you talking
not
about?
At all.
I don't have a white claw.
No, not at all. So we're gonna go. We're gonna kind of cruise over there. But thank you guys. Thanks for being on, everybody. You have been listening to Rogue Bunnies Mayhem, and
the mayhem continues.